Alright, so this one may look familiar, may not. This is the Echo 56 millimeter project. So that makes this one 93 cc's on a 60 cc chassis. Here's the cylinder. You see I added boost ports in it. They're fed right here through this little channel. Fed through there, come up to the top. Now this one's locked up 5 or 6 times on me. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to open this bore up. Increase this piston clearance. I think this cast piston just grows way too quick for this iron liner. And we're going to give this one a bit more aggressive port numbers. Now there's an event in about a month. Some saw racing going on. They have all the different classes, and this saw will work for the 6 cubic inch or their unlimited class. So it'd be a fun one. So we'll try, change the porting around, give it some more clearance, put a bigger carb on it, cross our fingers, and hope that it actually runs better. But you can see, got a couple things. I'll play with some epoxy in the intake. Like I said, mess with the exhaust a little bit. This one was just thrown together the way it was. So we'll see what we can get out of it. It's already been ran, already ported, but I'm opening this one up. This is going to be a hot wood / play saw. So I'm going to open this one up a bit more. I'm going to give it around 4.5 thousandths piston to wall clearance, which is plenty on the loose side. These two here, special project we've been working on. But we'll get all these sides. I just wanted to go over how we do it. Get a measurement off the skirt. Generally right down here towards the lowest part of the piston is going to be your largest diameter, because these pistons are not true round. You can see. We slide it down here. That's going to be your largest diameter. Get a good reading on the piston. And we're going to set our dial bore gauge. That way we can just go in and check it with our gauge. So I'll try and get this set on camera, see how it goes. But you got to find the biggest point of the measurement. So I like to set my dial bore gauge at 0, reading the same size as the piston, then whatever oversize is my clearance. So it's a little bit of fiddling. It's one of those things where you need a few hands. But getting this set up is well worth it. Alright, so right there, the biggest measurement's reading 0 on my gauge. So anything above 0 is going to be clearance. So we'll check this echo cylinder. Well, you can see this echo cylinder is plenty tight. Only about 2 thousandths clearance there. So we'll get this set up on the hone machine and we'll get it opened up. Alright, here's the honing machine. Now it's old, it's crude, not the best, but we'll see what we can get done. This dial's supposed to work, it doesn't appear to, but that's where we get motor power. There's a pedal down here to keep the mandrel spinning. Then I have a feed rate, pressure rate, that way. It'll slip, it won't just keep hogging material away. And just a little bit of homemade honing lube, but we'll give it a go, see what we got. I need to get the pump figured out on it. But this is a blind setup. The stone comes all the way to the edge. These cylinders do have an undercut at the top, just like factory. But you put down there. This one gets the pressure with the stone, and we'll see what it does. A little too much pressure. Still. A little more pressure. little bit less. Definitely taking some material out. Give it a quick check with the gauge just to see what it's doing. The cylinder had locked up a few times. You can see that's still a little bit of mark there. But everywhere else, it's taking material out. So we'll probably be just about right once we get that area cleaned up. But I'll get a measurement on it. That's good there. Still a little bit tight up there. So I'll give this just a little bit more. That should be just about right. Now these stones are a little aggressive, but being cast iron, it'll actually seat in, just like your automotive cylinders. Crosshatch pattern. Only that one little spot there. Well, we'll check the measurement again. I think this one ought to be real good to go. So I'll try and get just a touch more at the very top. I'd like 3.5 on this one at least. So that should do what we need on this echo cylinder. Here we go, just that one little area left. But it did. It got all the way to the top nice. Got the size where we need to. No other vertical lines left. All right, here's the cylinder. A little bit more duration. Open things up a little bit more. Did some shaping. If you look, if it'll focus. That's not all squish band up there. There's some oil left on there. Getting ready to stick this down. That's not all squish band. Squish band's only 1/4 inch wide or about 7 millimeter. That's flat. That matches. That's a dish on the piston. And the flat band is actually narrower than the dish on the piston. But these normally build a bunch of compression. That's why I dished it. That's in the other video where we built this one up first. But the first round was just getting everything ready to go. Now this round we're going to try and make it actually pretty quick. Now this is way more than I would do a normal work saw type build, because we're going to try and make this a fun get together, play, maybe even fast saw. Alright, we'll get this stuck down. But the numbers in this are way different than I would use for a regular work saw. They may work in this, and they might not. I'm going to start all these, and then I got to actually make sure the piston's at bottom dead center before I tighten it down, just to make sure it's not going to hit anything. Okay, I'll tighten these two front ones first. Make sure it stays where it needs to. That's much better. There we go, we got the cylinder down. It even goes roundy roundy. Not hitting anything in the case. Try our best to make something fast. Who knows, maybe it'll be a turtle. Maybe it won't run at all. Maybe it'll scatter. I don't know. I just hope it works. But you definitely don't know until you try. And I don't know why this Allen wrench won't go on this bolt. It's the Torx. That's why the Allen wrench won't go on the bolt. Make sure you use your Torx wrench on your Torx bolts. And your Allen wrench on your Allen bolts. Because, you know, these Echoes use Torx, not Allens. And we know that this is just a stock Echo CS600. Right? Wink, wink. Get both of those started. We'll tighten the muffler the rest of the way. Now down the road, once I get to it, definitely be swapping on a bigger carb. Probably an 880 carb. Just because we're going to try and make this a real fun saw. But for now, we're just going to start it up on the stock carb. Now, what do you think? Is this thing going to run? It's going to lock up. Did we go too loose with the bore? I sure hope we didn't go too loose. It wouldn't be any fun. But, like I said, let me know what you guys think of these kind of builds. There's where my ring went. I was looking for that. This is the first generation air filter for these. It's been updated a handful of times since then. But the carb ring goes on. This one goes in there, and then the carb clamps it together real similar to steel style. Just like that. Alright, I'm actually getting pretty excited about this one. Sure hope it works. But that's also part of the fun too. If they don't work, you get to figure out why. Alright, let me find a carburetor now. I found a carb, 620 carb, that's it. Now, this being the larger displacement, we don't even have to bother fixing that high jet. Get our carb box on. Alright, got one. Now, we'll see what it does. Let's cross our fingers. Let's see if she fires off. Well, I fiddled with it a little more. It's still acting up, so we're not going to do the dyno runs today. Going to try and get it all figured out. Pretty sure it's got an air leak. If I remember right, when I built this one a few years ago, I had a little bit of rot down here on the case. And it was pretty thin, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's leaking there. But I'm going to check it out. I'll do a pressure vacuum test. See, it sure sounds like a leak to me. Because the carb that's on it's off a brand new 620 that ran and everything. Has newer seals, everything. So pretty sure we got a leak. Wouldn't be surprised if it was in that case. But if this case ends up being bad, kind of stinks. Because this was built on the CS600 chassis, which has larger diameter bearings. The crankshaft's still the same, but the bearings were larger. But we'll see what it does. Do a pressure vacuum test. Go from there. But if it is bad, I do have more cases. And then you guys will get to see boring it out, making it fit, all that good stuff. But Let me know what you think of this one so far. I really, 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 really want to get this one running right. Big carb, all the fun stuff. But, all right, thanks a lot, everyone.